Try and play as well as we possibly can as a team, and give it absolutely everything. And that's in fairness what the lads do, and they did it again today.
Is there much talk in Kilkenny about the 5 in a row?
I have no idea, to be honest, because I'm not thinking about anything at all. I was thinking about today's match, and nothing can be won. No finals can be won until you're in it. We're in the All-Ireland final now, and whatever talk there will be. But our focus won't change.
We played in fits and starts today. It's that bit of consistency in our play, and I suppose there was pleasing aspects like maybe William Egan coming in there at half time, and young guys like that. So there are a lot of good players in Cork, but I suppose more than anything else, the players that were out there today who've given great service and that. I think there's an awful lot more in them, to be honest with you, and they'll be they're devastated, to be honest, inside in that dressing room, because this is the biggest stage of all, and whether it's an All-Ireland semi-final or final doesn't make any difference, but they're deeply hurt, and we'll have to face the facts when we get up tomorrow morning and over the next few months, and we'll have to appraise the whole lot and see how we're going to move on.
All right, well, it was a pretty awesome display from Kilkenny. And Paul, you were impressed with how Kilkenny seemed to have a hunger for goals from early on.
Yeah, Des, it was quite evident early on that Kilkenny seemed to have, maybe the round instruction, of course, that if they could get an early goal or two in Cork, that they might kill off the Cork challenge. Owen Larkin here carries it in. Could have taken a point, I suppose. Richie Power, again, goes, they're heading for the goal the whole time. OK, he's fouled there, and there's good Cork defence. But again, TJ Reid carries the ball past the half back line. Again, looking to draw a man maybe for a goal. There you are, Richie Power, great touch. And Ferguson Logie spreads himself well there on the way out. And there were points there for the taking, but Cork or Kilkenny seemed to be driving in. And here, of course, is the goal. 15 minutes into the game, Henry, great onto a loose ball. Good pass, and Eddie Brennan, no better man, keeps the shot low, I suppose. And we were talking about close enough to Donald Logue, didn't give him time to react, but Kilkenny obviously have their game plan set out that they'd carry the ball past the half forward line, try draw the man, and they knew probably that if they could get ahead of Cork, it would probably kill off the Cork challenge, because Cork didn't really have the capability of matching Kilkenny if the scores were high today.
Donald, when the second goal went in for Kilkenny, Cork were in real trouble then, weren't they?
Well, effectively, once the second goal went in, I think the match was over. That was my feeling, inside in Croke Park today, because when Kilkenny get goals, right, for whatever reason, they really, they get a great impetus to their play. Then it seems as if the shackles come off and they drive on then, right. And my philosophy always, if you're playing Kilkenny, no matter what team it is, you have to deny them goals, even keep it tight, flood the place with bodies, but don't concede goals in the first half, and at least stay in the game as long as you could. But once the second goal went in, I thought, match all over, because straight away Kilkenny, within the blink of an eye, they had 5 or 6 extra points, and they were gone away. 13 minutes gone, I think there was nothing in it, only a point. 10 minutes after that, match was over.
And did Cork play to their optimum or near it, in your view?
Well, we all knew coming up that Cork weren't quite as good as Kilkenny, but so you're going to exist in scraps. So it's like water in the desert, really. You have to make use of every scrap you have. Niall McCarthy should have popped that back with his hand, used the hurley, right. That's not acceptable at this level. And Sean Oak there, right, long ball down. There's a clip there. Kieran Murphy in splendid isolation, straight down to Brian Hogan, back up, right, in attack for Kilkenny. You see him there driving on, and you can't afford these kind of things. You have to play okay, you're existing in scraps. Carl knocked him with the ball there, right, followed by JJ Delaney and Cian McCarthy free in the wing. This young man was dying to get some type of ball into his hand to give him a bit of confidence. Again, played around with it, lost it, and okay, Sheffield sent it wide, right. But these are the kind of things you have to play it simply. And as I said, when you're existing in scraps, do the proper thing. Carl Naughton, he went for a point. He's good at long range scores, but the inside line were absolutely starved, and I felt that Patrick Horgan from the very off today, he looked to be up for the game. He was looking for any possession he could get. The full forward line was absolutely starved. They can't count any one good ball went into him in the first half. So I think Cork were outclassed, but the support play was poor, and I don't think that they seem to have any plan really as to how to deal with Kilkenny. Going out 15 versus 15 to me is suicide against that team.
Paul and John, you were chatting about Kilkenny's aerial power.
Yeah, Des, any team, that have a half-back line of disability, but it's the timing, the sheer timing, and they're not huge men, of course, but it's when, they're so strong, and it's hard to get the ball past half-back line, isn't it?
The whole 6 of them are very good catchers, each and every one of them, and I suppose if they're in training, their forwards have to out-catch these fellas as well, so the forwards benefit from this training, and they're superior, every one of them. You could highlight any one of them. The 6 backs are comfortable under the high ball, and likewise the forwards are quite content to contest those balls as well. And it's one of the main strengths of Kilkenny. It's the real trademark Kilkenny, winning the air, dominating the air.
Yeah, but you'd have to ask the question now, if they're good in there, which they are, they're full. Like, why hit the ball down to them in the first half, or why not pull it? Why not have the half hours pulling on the ball? And we saw a clip there where Henry Shefflin went up with Sean O'Gahilpine. Why not the Cork defence knock it down and play from the ground? I mean, you're playing to Kilkenny's strengths. They are excellent in the air, so why not try and reduce the certainties that they're going to win the ball, because they'll win it when it's pucked down to them. So
The Kilkenny midfield was very strong again today, Paul.
Yeah, it does. Like, I mean, they have an embarrassment of riches currently. Chad came in today, hasn't played in a long time for Kilkenny, over a year, and he just fitted like a glove. He's a fantastic hurler, great positional sense. But you can see here he's working hard as well here with Tommy Welch, put Niall McCarthy under serious pressure. And most of these turnovers, says that they force you to lead to scores. And in fairness, Michael Fennelly today was excellent.
John, you were a big fan of Michael Fennelly today, weren't you?
I really think Michael had a fantastic game today, and considering he just got in for the last 15-20 minutes of last year's All-Ireland final, and he's after developing physically as well, and he's running and he covers both ends of the pitch up and down and makes great breaks down through the middle. He's really very, very talented player, and is going to get better, I think.
You've 5 or 6 midfielders there who could play in an All-Ireland, haven't
And you can only play 2. What a dilemma.
One talking point was Aidan Fogarty's goal. You weren't sure about the...
Yeah, I'm kind of in the minority, I think. Yeah, but it was a long ball delivered in. Donlow comes out. Now, I take a lot of convincing for someone to tell me that Richie Power knows where the ball is. Richie Power is racing in on goal, no idea where the ball is, looking at the goalkeeper, distracts him, puts his hurley across. You can see there the ball hasn't even arrived, and Richie's already after taking Donlow's right arm out of it. Now, the Cork lads don't complain too much, so maybe it was legit, but...
It's not a foul to distract someone, though, is it?
Well, he definitely moved his hurley. Donlow's moved his hurley, but he did... in my opinion, he played the man. He had no idea where the ball was, but look, it's one of these things.
John?
I think Richie has eyes in the back of his head and he saw it coming in.
No,
but I think it was a fair legit goal. I think, if there was contention and saying it, but I think he could have really, and it didn't, and he just pulled aside, and that by that movement alone, I think it just did.
Don, there was an issue you picked up on in relation to consistency from the referee today.
yeah, there was a few things. We see a pass here to Keane McCarthy, and Jackie Tull comes in a bit late and shows. Brian Gavin pulls it up as a free, but the issues like that early in the championship were yellow cards at least anyway. Some of them were red cards, and that was another tackle there which Brian Gavin rightly gave a card for, but it was a yellow card, and I felt that it was very similar to what Diarmuid Lyng got in the match between Wexford and Galway. See him coming in and he got a straight red. So I think it's very difficult maybe for referees because they see it in real time, whatever it is. But I think that with all the questions about assessors and whatever else, that surely be the God, these are big major decisions, and a bit of consistency wouldn't go astray.
Right, that was back in May at the start of the championship.
Yeah, but as I said, and it's like you get the National League days and there's all rules and they're implemented to the letter of the law, right? Okay, we saw it in football this year. They had a hand pass for the first 2 weeks and then they got rid of it. So I think that if they're going to have consistent rules, they should have them all the time and apply them as such, because I think that players get frustrated when there's a great level of consistency. But as I said, it's difficult for referees because they're seeing things in real time, and they might be, they mightn't quite see the thing as we'd see it here, maybe from the top of the stand.
All right then, John, you played in very good Kilkenny teams. You watched Kilkenny teams with your brothers playing them as a young fella. Is this the best ever Kilkenny team you've seen?
It has to be. It's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are the greatest team. And I mean, we've had some great teams, and I've been fortunate to play on a great team. But I think they've got it all. And it's not just a team, it's a team of the last 10 years. It's a combination of years of work, players coming on, new players being freshened up all the time. And people will think of it as a team, but it really is a group of players, a really talented group of players. And we're blessed to have such exceptional talent at a time, at this time.
Certainly they are a fantastic team, but is it good for hurling that they're dominating? Or is that an unfair comment?
To ask a Kilkenny man, it's not a fair question. But
it's good for Kilkenny hurling.
It's good for Kilkenny hurling. I agree with that, certainly. But I suppose, we're having the time of our life. It's been the greatest era ever. But I suppose hurling, you want to be on the edge of your seat for the last 2 minutes of a game. You want the intensity. You want but today, the match was gone so early in the game, and the minor match was the same. And look, you don't want this team to continue and continue. You want someone to come along and take the mantle. But it's not Kilkenny's fault. I mean, let's face it.
Donald, where are Cork? Are Cork going to be... Some people are saying that's the end of the team now, is it?
Well, I suppose Dennis Walsh said that players have given great service, and they have given great service. And there's some players that have played, like Sean Ogus started I think in '96, and Ben and Jerry O'Connor